wants to move to a landlocked country? Or just a really dry state, maybe?
I beg you. Think of Caitlin. Please don't. Please.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that make you want to stay out of the water. For this list, we're looking at any film that takes place on or around a body of water that winds up being a serious source of anxiety, fear, or mortal danger. That can be as a result of the water itself or creatures found lurking in it. Oh, a spoiler alert is probably a good idea. Number 10, Lake Placid.
I never heard of a crocodile crossing an ocean.
Baby steps, right? Let's start with a nice simple visit to a lake before conquering our fear of the ocean. Black Lake, Maine. Sounds nice. And it is, until a 30-foot-long crocodile bites you clean in half. Or decapitates you. Lake Placid definitely brings elements of comedy into the mix, but the humor does nothing to lessen the general sense of dread one feels when presented with the possibility of a monster crocodile lurking somewhere in Maine.
Maine? I'm allergic to timber.
Sure, it's just a movie, but who can honestly say they weren't stressed out by the mystery of where that second crocodile was being shipped?
Well, she didn't want to tell us about the second croc because she's afraid we'd blow its head off.
Oh, and that Betty White seems to be raising a few of these killer crocs as her own. That's one way to keep us out of the water for good.
I'm rooting for the crocodile. I hope he swallows your friends whole.
Number 9, Titanic.
Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight.
Talk about a striking contrast between two films. From horror to historical drama. From freshwater to saltwater. From a giant crocodile to a giant iceberg. Titanic was no horror film, but it had plenty of horrifying imagery. An elderly couple holding each other as their cabin fills with water. Young Irishmen fighting to escape the lower quarters. Hundreds floating in the water, freezing to death. The Titanic was called the unsinkable ship. But as we learned from Icarus and the Tower of Babel, humankind's hubris is always their downfall.
This maiden voyage of Titanic must make headlines.
The Titanic, for all its glitz, glamour, and proof of human innovation, becomes little more than a water crypt, forcing viewers to fear the North Atlantic's frigid waters.
I will never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
Number 8, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
No!
For the record, nobody really recommends that you go exploring lagoons in the first place. So, if you're planning some late-night skinny dipping in a lagoon, this movie might actually be doing you a favor by scaring you off.
Pull up your net. Come on, hurry up.
This is a classic monster movie, but don't let the lack of fast-paced action or gore fool you. This thing packs plenty of Walking Dead style, slow creeping, turn around and why aren't you running kind of horror. Originally shown in theaters using 1950s 3D technology, you can only imagine the fright cinema goers at the time must have felt. That monstrous hand slowly creeping out of the water, likely enough to keep a whole generation of kids on dry land.
My boys call it the Black Lagoon, the paradise. Only they say nobody has ever come back to prove it.
Number 7, Anaconda.
Is snakes out there this big?
Much like lagoons, the Amazon River would rank poorly on a list of great places to go swim in. But that's what's so remarkable about Anaconda. It doesn't just make the Amazon River look scary, it kinda ruins all rivers and lakes. Actually, Anaconda takes the fun out of water in general and replaces it with paralyzing fear.
They strike, wrap around you, hold you tighter than your true love.
Terry Flores and her film crew just want to document a long-lost indigenous tribe, but snake hunter Paul Cerrone forces them into helping him capture the world's largest anaconda. People fear snakes. People fear water. People fear an angry Jon Voight. Put it all together, and you get a film that really makes your skin crawl.
Never look in the eyes of those you kill. They will haunt you forever.
Number 6, Deep Blue Sea.
We have to kill her.
It's a tale as old as modern medicine. The single-minded pursuit of a medical breakthrough, which in this case is a cure for Alzheimer's, leads a group of scientists to create a monster, which in this case is monster sharks.
We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here. First, we're going to seal off this movie.
From five-time Razzie nominee for Worst Director Rennie Harlan comes what can only be described as the prototype for every over-the-top Shark Week mockumentary.
It's pretty scary stuff, huh?
In this underwater research facility, ethical codes have been violated, and 3 sharks now have above-average intelligence. But they're not interested in playing chess or reading Noam Chomsky. They're out for blood. Sharks are intimidating enough already, but give them problem-solving and teamwork skills, and that's enough to make anyone rethink their trip to the water park.
Done. Brothers never make it out of situations like this. Not ever.
Number 5, The Abyss.
I'm coming, baby. Keep your pantyhose on.
The Abyss inspires equal parts wonder and fear. The deep-sea alien life forms created by James Cameron are beautiful and peaceful, and most of the humans in the film find them to be fascinating.
Howdy. How you guys doing?
Coffee and his team of Navy SEALs, however, immediately consider them a threat and plan an attack, but they're way off base.
He's about to declare war on an alien species just when they're trying to make contact with us, please!
So why should this movie cause anyone to fear the ocean? Because it shows that the ocean floor is freaking terrifying, and the man-made crafts we use to explore it are claustrophobia-inducing death traps.
Let's get the hell out of here!
The ocean is a dark, cold, lonely place. The aliens are cool, but if they like the ocean so much, they can have it. We'll stick to dry land.
Well, hell, son, you better get a line down to us. We're in moderately poor shape down here.
Number 4, Piranha.
What about the goddamn piranhas?
They're eating the guests, sir.
No, we're not talking about the ridiculous remake or its sequel. Those movies might make you fear spring break, but not water.
Get them out of the water!
The original Piranha was a response to the then recent success of Jaws, and the many bad horror flicks like Orca and Grizzly that imitated it.
Terror, horror, death. Film at 11.
This sharp, witty gore fest is almost as scary as it is fun, unlike the remakes, which are pristine CGI nightmares. The original film used puppets, models, and even some stop motion. Underwater scenes were really filmed underwater, in all its murky, vision-obstructing glory. They used classic horror tropes, and you know what? It works. Just like never going to an aquarium, let alone swimming ever again works.
Bob, I'm gonna have to get back to you on this. We've got a situation down here.
Number 3, The Perfect Storm.
I always find the fish. Always!
The sea can be beautiful. The sea can inspire great works of art or a spirit of adventure. They say that all life started in the ocean before coming to land. But the sea is a force of nature.
Come on, help me! Hold on, I got you!
It can bring sudden, devastating swells and catastrophic storms. It can take life as easily as it gives it. Some might argue that the perfect storm is the one that never actually happens. But for the crew of the Andrea Gale, it was the meeting of 2 weather fronts that came together and ended up taking all their lives much too soon.
I'm here, Jeremy, I'm here! I got you, we're here!
For anyone who's thought, it's just a few waves, it'll be fine, think again.
You're headed right for the middle of the monster!
Number 2, Open Water.
Daniel, was that a shark?
Maybe. Or a dolphin.
A little over a decade before Blake Lively found herself clinging to a buoy in the shallows, Open Water threw a single-location survival horror party and invited sharks.
Jesus, Daniel! What kind are they?
Big ones.
Tapping into man's deepest oceanic fears, its endlessness, the fathoms of water beneath your kicking feet, and the creatures that inhabit it. This film is 79 minutes of nail-biting, pull-out-your-hair tension.
I wanted to go skiing.
It was filmed on a budget of $500,000 and was bought by Lionsgate for 5 times that after its initial screening at Sundance.
Daniel, where's the boat?
It's a good question.
I guess it's one of those.
It's truly minimalist filmmaking, and the viewing experience isn't just visual, it's physical. You feel the isolation, the panic, and the sense of hopelessness as the sharks circle these two stranded divers. And it makes you glad to be sitting on your couch and not in the middle of the ocean.
We have a story we're going to be telling for the rest of our lives.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Why didn't you kill it?
Number 1. Jaws. Duh.
That's it. Goodbye. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with a man who's lining up to be a hot lunch. I'm going to see you later, Piranha.
Welcome to the quaint island of Amity, known for its sandy beaches, tourist trade, and a man-eating great white shark. Jaws requires little introduction. It's considered one of the greatest films ever made, and has been called the first summer blockbuster, seen by some 67 million people in the summer of '75.
Boys, I think he's come back for his noon feeding.
What makes it such a powerful film is the sense of acute anxiety it cultivates. This shark, lurking off screen, torments the residents of Amity and viewers alike. We only ever see glimpses of the beast, but John Williams' score lets us know it's there. The shark is scary to behold, but its absence is the real source of infectious terror, spreading out across the water, waiting to strike.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Do you agree with our list?
That's the first real smart thing you said all day.
What movie kept you out of the bathtub for weeks? For more sinister top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.